The controversy over this tax-funded project all began when members of the community were concerned about the modern design on the inside and the outside. And the architect told me today what he told me 2 years ago. You just can't please everybody.
This water is about to flood Highway 80. Our ride even had to leave because the police said, you got to go. We got to go, but wanted to let you know that this is how high the tide is, and we're getting closer to that mark of 14 feet. And the waves are massive, you guys. Wow, that was wow, water in my boots. We tried to make it out to Butler Avenue, but this water is coming in so fast, we're trying to dodge a bullet. Hey guys, we finally were able to come back out now that the tide is receding at this point. A lot of localized flooding. Guess what? This is Highway 80 right behind us, and we're on 2nd Avenue, and we've got almost about a foot of water here. And this isn't just the only place. Lewis Avenue is underwater. Several other places are underwater, and residents are shocked. I just got done talking to a lady who said she's never seen flooding like this. They definitely didn't see this type of flooding during Hurricane Matthew. You can see over here the top floor, the balcony just completely wiped out by this storm. There's another building just down the road. It's missing part of the roof. We showed you about 1.5 inches accumulated on the ground earlier, and then we wanted to see what was the verdict on the cars. And it looks like about 2 inches on this car here. But I want to show you the situation of if you try to get into your car, this is what's going to happen. One of our morning producers is trying to go home. He's spent about 20 minutes at least just trying to defrost his car. Do you know where he's living? Because obviously his house is under foreclosure. Well, it's important because he should be living in the district that he represents. Is that correct?
Yeah, sure.
In this letter that was sent out on April 19th to the U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions, Georgia State Senator Lester Jackson asked the Department of Justice to take over the investigation of the January 23rd officer-involved shooting of Ricky Boyd. It's been 3 months since U.S. Marshals and Savannah police officers were looking for the 20-year-old because investigators say he was a prime suspect in the murder of Belil Whitfield. In a WTOC investigation earlier this month, we told you that statements from police slowly changed, saying at first Boyd allegedly initiated gunfire towards officers. But then later they said a confrontation occurred between officers, which resulted in officers discharging their firearms. But according to Ricky's mom, that's not what she saw in the body camera video that investigators showed her. She says her son never had a gun and did not appear to be a threat to police.
He comes out, he has his hands out, and then he turns to his left to some more officers. When he makes that turn again, his hands are still out, and he's immediately shot.
Did it look like he had anything in his hands at all?
No, ma'am. He did not have anything in his hand.
The case is now receiving national attention, and WTOC was there as Ricky Boyd's mother and her attorney were being interviewed this week by PBS NewsHour.
He was a good person.
Desperately wanting answers from local law enforcement, Ricky Boyd's family took their concerns to state lawmakers, meeting with Senator Lester Jackson.
It was touching to see someone that concerned about a situation and a constituent. And it was a moving meeting.
Now, Senator Jackson is calling for a federal investigation, stating in his letter to the Attorney General that transferring the investigation to the U.S. Department of Justice will help avoid potential bias within the local district attorney's office and will help restore the community's trust in this investigation.
As we sit here right now, there are any number of criminal trials that are going on at the Chatham County Courthouse where this district attorney is relying on the credibility of law enforcement witnesses. And to ask this district attorney to turn around and investigate and prosecute officers from a department that she relies on day in and day out, I think asks too much. And to take it to that federal level where you can have that sort of dispassionate review, I think just allows for there to be more confidence that the right decision will be made, not a decision that maybe is just more politically comfortable.
Reporting in Savannah, Elizabeth Rawlins, WTOC News.
Our Elizabeth Rawlins was out on Tybee Island during the storm, and Elizabeth, Highway 80 completely underwater at one point, wasn't it?
It sure was. In fact, we were trapped on Tybee for a while there, and as that water receded, that's when officers noticed that the flag had been knocked over and was submerged underwater.
There's not much to see along the stretch of U.S. Highway 80 between the mainland and Tybee Island, except
for this flag, positioned less than a mile from Fort Pulaski National Monument.
I know it's been here since '87, so it's an important landmark. You always look for it, you always see it. It's just, you see it all the time. Everybody knows this flag.
And everyone who knows this flag also knows that this road floods during astronomically high tides, often trapping people on the island. It was expected during Hurricane Irma, and the surge nearly broke the record. But as soon as the water started to recede, Savannah-Chatham Metro police officers Lieutenant Ernst and Captain Brown began clearing the road and assessing the damage. There was debris all over the road. Even a couple of boats were blocking both lanes. But there was one thing that really grabbed their attention.
Ernie and I didn't talk about it. We just jumped out of the car and get it off the ground.
The flag had been knocked over by the strong winds and was drenched during the surge, so they took it with them to dry it out.
We were doing what was right. We were just saving the flag.
As Irma pounded Georgia's east coast on Monday, September 11th, the 16th anniversary of 9/11 was overshadowed because many had evacuated and others were bracing for the storm.
It didn't even cross my mind until I got home and started calming down and thinking about it.
And just 2 days later, they put it back up so that it would be there to greet the residents who were returning home.
It was important for us to get it done so there'd be some sort of sense of normalcy. You know, they see the flag, I'm going home.
Even before this video went viral, many locals were posting on Facebook saying how much they appreciate what the officers did. And prior to the storm, Captain Brown says he was actually supposed to be vacationing in the Keys.